You take a look at shares of FedEx, largely flat today, down for the week, but up more than 90% from a year ago. The company committing this week to becoming carbon neutral by 2040, investing more than $2 billion initially in three key areas: vehicle electrification, sustainable energy, and carbon sequestration. I caught up with FedEx COO and President Raj Subramaniam for a wide-ranging interview on everything from vaccine distribution to supply chain disruptions and economic recovery. But first, we did talk those climate goals, and I asked what the cargo plane of the future is going to be powered by. Here's what he told me.
First of all, our roots in sustainability run deep. We were way ahead of the curve, our chairman in particular, talking about infrastructure for electrification. So it's not news, really, that we are committing to electrifying our fleets, and that's a big part of the equation. When it comes to aircraft represent 2% of carbon emissions globally. And, one of the things that we are pushing forward is on sustainable air fuels. And that, one of the things, if you read Bill Gates' book, there's that green premium, and especially so in sustainable fuels. So, yes, we want to be able to use sustainable fuels for our aircraft, but some of the harder questions have to be now answered. And that's why our investment, our pledge, actually, to the Yale Center for Natural Carbon Capture comes into play, is because we need to find solutions for carbon sequestration that then drives in energy efficiency in the aircraft sector as well.
Just to shift gears a little bit, because I know you're staying very busy at FedEx these days. You're also very involved. The company is very involved in the distribution of vaccines. We just had this third vaccine that was approved, and we're seeing those initial supplies begin to roll out for Johnson & Johnson this week. I guess what does that process entail for FedEx? And given the fact that that specific vaccine is, besides being one dose, it doesn't have to be at these ultra cold temperatures, what does that process to transport it look like?
Well, I'll tell you this, we are extremely proud of the mission here that we've given to move these vaccines to finally end this pandemic. And we are extremely proud of the role that we play. I told you about the infrastructure that we have. That is core and essential to moving these vaccines. Let me put it very simply. The ability to pick up something, one part of the world, and get it to any other part of the world requires a network. And only a couple of companies in the world have the network required to do that. But along with that also comes some technological solutions. We launched SensoWare ID. It's a chiplet that looks like this. That's strapped down to every vaccine shipment. Now, we launched it last year, and it's proved very timely. This is the most advanced sensor there is that keeps proactive track of where that package or the shipment is. And we're also working with Microsoft, launched FedEx Surround. That is an advanced DSML platform that allows predictive capability that also not only tells you what is happening, but what is about to happen and predicts that. So we are able to intervene as required. So you put it all together, then we have this incredible system where we are delivering unprecedented service levels to deliver these vaccines. That's the best way to make sure that the vaccines are good when it gets to the other side. So we have cold chain facilities as needed, but mostly, on average, these vaccines stay in our system for less than 20 hours or so, and with extraordinary advanced tracking and ability to intervene.
I am curious, just as we are starting to see with the vaccine rollout, we're starting to see signs of reopening, at least little bits of reopening, whether it's here in the U.S. or in other parts of the world right now, how much of the strength we have seen in something like e-commerce, the demand in e-commerce, how much of that is going to be sustained as people start to leave their houses and go back out again?
Well, I think, before the pandemic started, e-commerce as a percentage of retail was something in the 15% range. We saw it spike up to 25% during the pandemic and maybe settle back down slightly lower than that. I totally expect that going forward that it stays at a high level. I think customer habits have changed, and I think we have seen a step change and an acceleration of trends. For 3 or 4 year acceleration of trends. I don't think it's going back. In package terms, when we put these numbers together, there was 50 million packages in the industry per day in 2016. We expected that to double to 100 million packages per day by 2026. Well, we now expect that to happen by 2023. That's the 3-year acceleration that I'm talking about. And I expect that to happen now, irrespective of the pandemic, as the pandemic goes away. So there's a lot of growth in the e-commerce sector to come.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.